Hello, everybody. This is Sinema77, horror and cult film lover, and I'm back with another video. Now, we did the first one, we did the second one. Today, we're going to do number three. We're going to talk about Poison Ivy 3, Poison Ivy, The Last Seduction. Now, this one came out in 1997, a year after the second movie came out. And as I've said before in previous videos, I really thought that the way that Jamie Presley got her role for this movie was that she was the new body double for Drew Barrymore in the first movie, and they decided that they were going to go ahead and hire her. But I was never able to find out whether that was true or not. So, but doesn't matter, you know. I mean, just but yeah. So this one, like I said, came out in 1997, and right off the bat, I'm gonna say I still haven't watched the fourth one yet, so I can't honestly say how good that one is or how bad it is. But out of the trilogy, the first three, I'm going to go right off the bat and say that the third one is easily my favorite movie of all three. And, you know, I'm going to get into a number of reasons why. But um, so, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start talking about this one. I do enjoy this one. Okay, now the story starts off. You have this basically this rich family, and you know, you have the father. He's at work and everything, and you have the mother. They're a very well-to-do family, and you have the mother and the housekeeper. I believe her name was Rebecca, and it turns out we'll see. You know, this housekeeper Rebecca. She's actually the mother of Ivy, Drew Barrymore's character from the first movie, and it turns out that Jamie Presley here plays Violet. Now, Violet is the sister to Ivy, and their mother is working in this house, you know, being the housekeeper and stuff like that. And it we come to find out that actually the mother and you know the man of the house, the housekeeper and the man of the house were having a sexual affair. But you know the two girls, Ivy and Violet, they're they're sisters, and they live with basically they live with this family, and they kind of consider the family who owns a house their daughter Joy. They kind of consider her like another sister, and so they're playing and stuff like that. It turns out Ivy's not. They're like doing tea parties and things like that, and Ivy's just kind of like she's not having it and stuff like that. So you know she's like wanting to see like what's going on. Well, she finds out her mom is, even though her mom is having an affair with the man of the house, she's getting a little something something on the side with the pool boy, and they start going in and going at it and stuff like that. And Ivy is is a little girl in this, and she's like yeah, there's going to be fireworks, get ready, and all this stuff. Well, the man of the house, he comes home and he finds them screwing around and stuff, and they get into it and everything else, and you know he tells the pool boy, get the hell out of here and all this stuff. And so the housekeeper, she's like trying to talk to him and stuff, and they're yelling and screaming and everything else. And they get out that they're having a sexual affair. Well, it turns out his wife, she hears what's going on, and she hears that her husband's having an affair with the housekeeper. And so she basically tells, Rebecca, the housekeeper, get the fuck out of my house, take your daughters with you, get out of here, and all this other kind of stuff. And so, Ivy and Violet, they're bothered because, you know, to them, Joy is a sister and everything, and they're all being split up and everything else. And so anyway, so that's where they leave. And then, so it's like a few years later, now the mother is gone, and, uh, Joy is now, she's a beautiful young woman and everything. And the one thing I got to say about the character of Joy is like, it's amazing how this character in this movie, she starts off as, this, really, or she doesn't, well, she starts off, yeah, but she's this really sweet and wonderful girl and very nice and very kind and considerate of other people and stuff. And yet, somehow in this movie, she is surrounded by absolutely the worst people in the world. And I'll get to that. But anyway, though, so a few years later, Violet comes to visit, and Violet is played by Jamie Presley, who got a picture over here. So and so Violet comes by, and she visits and everything else, and she's her and Joy are trying to rekindle their old friendship and stuff like that. And the father, he's still with the mother, like I said, is gone. And so he sees Violet, and he's actually kind of stunned by how beautiful she is growing up and everything else. And so and Violet's talking about she's working at Denny's, but she's doing like she's like getting an education and stuff like that. And so they decide, well, hey, it's Violet. She's still, we consider her family and stuff. So let's go ahead and let her stay and everything. So Violet decides, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stay with the family. And, they're just, hanging out and doing stuff. And Joy, in the meantime, decides, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce Violet to some of my friends and, introduce her to my boyfriend and stuff like that. And just her friends are these just snotty, stuck up, rich hoity-toity asshole types and everything else. And and so they're making fun of Violet and stuff like that. And Joy's boyfriend, he's kind of poking a little fun at her too, but he's trying not to be a real dick to her because he's trying to get in good with Joy and everything. And what we find out about Joy's boyfriend Michael is that he had like a drug problem that he was trying to kick. And he's trying to like go on the straight and narrow path and everything else. And so he's working for Joy's father in a bank, and trying to be like Mr. Prim and Proper and all this other kind of stuff. And so um yeah, so now that Joy, at one point, her and Michael, they go up to the room, and the friends leave, and so Violet's just kind of, she goes off saying she's going to go to work and everything else. And so Michael and Joy, they go upstairs, and he wants to go all the way with Joy, but Joy's not into it and everything. And then so he's getting mad, calling her frigid and everything else, saying, "Yeah, I know, yeah, I can understand why. If this is how the women in your family are, no wonder why your dad screwed around on your mom and all this." And she tells him basically, get the fuck out of my house and all this other kind of stuff. And so, Violet, she comes home, and she's dressed up. She's a dominatrix. We find out that really that Violet here, we find out that she's a dominatrix prostitute. And she's selling her services for money. That's how she's been living and stuff. And she's all decked out in this dominatrix gear and everything else. And um, so Michael, he's going downstairs and getting ready to leave, and he sees Joy, or he sees Violet. I wanted to call her Joy because we all know Jamie Presley is Joy from My Name Is Earl. But so he goes down and sees Violet and everything. He sees her in this get up and everything. He's like, well, that's a hell of a waitress uniform to wear it. Where was it again? She's like, Denny's. Like, she's like, yeah, it's under new management. And he's all like, well, I've never eaten there before. And she spreads her legs and she's like, you want to? Which I think that was supposed to be kind of like for audience participation. I think like every man and, probably even some women in the audience be like, yes, I do want to eat there. But so anyway, so she seduces Michael and she gives him oral sex, and she's talking about, well, Joy may be frigid, but I'm not, and everything. So it's like the next day, and Violet's going out swimming, and she's got like a bottom on, but she's topless, and the father, he's checking her out and all this stuff. Meanwhile, they have a new housekeeper, and this housekeeper's kind of older woman and everything. And she's not this kind of like beautiful young woman the father's having an affair with, like before or anything. But so anyway, so yeah, but she immediately takes a disliking to Violet, and they're butting heads and not getting along and stuff, making little comments to each other and stuff like that. So so yeah, he sees that Joyce, or Violet, swimming, and she knows that he's watching her and stuff like that. And she's setting this plan in motion that she, kind of like how Ivy would have done. She's going to seduce the dad and stuff like that. So anyway, so Joy and one of her girlfriends is like one of these really snotty types and everything else. They're turns out that Joy is trying to be a professional tennis player, and they're playing tennis and all this kind of stuff. And so Violet decides, yeah, I'm gonna fuck with not Joy, but I'm gonna fuck with this friend of hers. I want to kind of get her out of the way, get her out of the picture and stuff. So she, puts stuff in their drink. Actually, they're drinking like I believe it's lemonade, but she puts a bunch of booze in it and stuff like that, and and both of them get pretty sauced and they zonk out and stuff, and so Michael comes over and he sees that Joy is wasted and everything else, and he's like, "What the fuck?" and all this kind of stuff. And so Violet's like, I don't know. They started drinking and everything else, and she's talking about all the stress on her and everything. So help me get her up to bed and everything else. So they do. They take her up and they put her to bed, put her to sleep, and all this stuff. And um, so yeah, so they kind of like, you know, kind of tricked everybody into thinking that like yeah, everything's fine with Joy. She's okay and stuff. So Michael, he's sitting out. They got like sitting out by a pool, and they got this, you know, kind of like pool patio furniture and stuff. And so Violet comes out to sit with him, and she's giving him booze, and she offers him cocaine, which he takes, and then they have sex and everything else, and so it's this very kind of like very erotic, very intense sex scene, and Jamie Presley, she's nude in this, so yeah, looking absolutely stunning. She always does. I think even to this day, she still looks amazing. But so yeah, they get done having sex and all this stuff, and he tells her like hey, this didn't happen. You and me, this never happened, and all this stuff. And so she's all like, ha, jokes on you, asshole. I'm gonna set you up, and I'm gonna get you out of Joy's life as well, and all this kind of stuff. And so like the next morning, it's like the housekeeper, she's still kind of like going after Violet, telling her, I know you're on to something. And, it's like, like, I know you're a house guest, but I think you're kind of wearing out your welcome here, Missy, and all this stuff. And so, Violet, they're talking, she's trying to get Joy to get rid of these people and stuff and get them out of her life and everything else. And I did forget to mention that she plays a good joke on Joy's friend. Violet does, where she handcuffs her and and when she comes out of it, she comes out of her drunken stupor and everything. Violet makes this girl think that they had sex together and all this kind of stuff. And she's all like, yeah, don't leave. Joy will be back in just a minute. We can get back to where we left off. And she's like, oh my God. So she runs out and stuff. And so like Michael comes over and he's like, I want to talk to Joy, and it's all like, Violet, you bitch, you better not have said anything about us and all this kind of stuff. And so Joy's like, or Violet's like, Michael, why are you treating me this way? I thought we had something special. It's like, no, we don't have anything, you stupid bitch. I'm in love with Joy and I want to be with her. And she's like, well, she don't want to be with you and all this kind of stuff. So hit the road, Jack. And so we come to find out that Joy's father, he's going to go out on a date, but Violet sabotages the date and stuff like that. And so he gets dressed up and everything, and Joy's like, oh, you look great. So he goes out and finds out he gets stood up on his date. But meanwhile, Violet, she's all dressed to kill and everything else. And when the father comes home, she seduces him and all this. And the house, they start getting into this very lusty, very sexy, sex scene and stuff like that. And the housekeeper, she comes home and almost catches them, but then then he's all like, I don't think I should be doing this. And but she's, Violet's clearly the dominant one here, and they have this very erotic sex scene and stuff like that. And so it's like then Michael, he's getting suspicious, and he's he finds Joy, sees her out working the streets and stuff like that, and he tells her, like, you better get the fuck out of Joy's life. And he's all like, we're gonna be together, and you know, so you better hit the road, hit the road, bitch, and get out of her life and everything else, because it's gonna be me and her and all this other kind of stuff. And so she's all like, okay, well, he's all like, I'm gonna go to the house, I'm gonna tell Violet everything, or I'm gonna tell, my God, I can't get the name straight, can I? I'm gonna tell Joy everything about you and all this kind of stuff. She's like, okay, fine. And so he goes to the house, and Joy, meanwhile, is at a tennis tournament. So he goes to the house and everything to confront, to tell Joy about Violet and all this stuff. Well, Violet catches him, and she, we find out that Violet is, she is insane. I mean, the woman is absolutely batshit crazy, and And so she's, she gets the stuff and she injects Michael, and she's, telling him, yeah, I have all these different, clients. I deal with judges and lawyers and teachers and doctors and all this other kind of stuff. And she injects him basically with poison, killing him and stuff like that. And, then the housekeeper, she's trying to get in the way and all this and this stuff. And so Violet decides going to take her out too. And then Joy comes home, and well, Violet's seducing the father again, and Joy walks in on Violet. She's got her dad tied up and everything else, and doing this dominatrix stuff that she does, and Joy runs out and all this. And so he's like telling Violet, untie me, I got to go after Joy and all this. And Violet, she's all like, no, she's all like, I remember you cheating bastard, and all this stuff, what you did to my family and this and that. And Joy was like my sister, and you fucked everything up and all this other kind of stuff. And basically she ends up murdering the father too, and stuff. And so Joy comes home, and and Violet, is basically gets power over her, and is telling her, like, we used to be sisters, and we used to be the best, and all this. And she's all like, I want us to be together and stuff, and and everything. And you kind of got the idea that basically, like, Violet's talking about maybe something like a murder suicide kind of a thing. And but Joy is able to overcome Violet, and they fight, and she's able to you know kill Violet and everything. And but yeah, that's pretty much about where the movie ends. So anyway, so yeah, that was Poison Ivy, the new Seduction. And like I said, honestly, I have to admit, this one to me is really, this is the one that is the most fun out of the whole set. This is the one that is the most entertaining. Jamie Presley, not just, I mean, as I enjoy Jamie Presley's performance in this, and I like Jamie Presley just in general. And you could be like, well, yeah, I know why you like her. It's like, admittedly, that is a part of it. I'm not going to deny that. I mean, Jamie Presley, she's gorgeous. I always thought she's gorgeous. I still think she's gorgeous. Even today, I think she's a lovely, beautiful woman. I always thought she was so beautiful and good looking. But anyway, though, also too, it's just all like, not just aside from the fact that Jamie Presley is beautiful and gorgeous and sexy, she is incredibly entertaining. And I've seen her. She does a lot of comedy roles. I've seen her on My Name Is Earl. I've seen her in, she tried a couple of other TV shows. One like I Hate My Teenage Daughter and Jennifer Falls. I've seen her in a number of other movies. See her in a lot of comedy films like Not Another Teen Movie and stuff, and everything else. And she is, to me, it's like she is infinitely entertaining. And she is in this movie as well. I mean, she's not doing comedic stuff, even though the part where she, um, fucks with Joy's friend, I mean, yeah, that's pretty funny. But I mean, you could tell she is like really going for it in this movie. She is really trying to give, she is giving her performance everything she can. I mean, she's throwing everything in there but the kitchen sink. And, just also too, just, like the fact that, she's so bold with the way she does the nudity in this movie as opposed to Alyssa Milano in part two or Drew Barrymore in part one, where it's like, it's more like they're trying to obscure the nudity. They're trying to cover up as much as possible. And Jamie Presley doesn't do that. I mean, she's putting herself out there. So, I mean, it's like, for all these reasons, and like I said, when she goes psycho in this movie, she is incredibly, incredibly fun to watch. She is so entertaining. And I mean, she just does. She's a hoot to watch in this movie. And, just to me, it's like, the story is interesting. It just kind of, to me, this just works better than the first two movies. This one just seems like it has more entertainment value, more replay value. Um, yeah, there is a good thriller element to it, but the whole thing is they're trying to sell these as erotic thrillers, and really this one is the most erotic out of them all. The sex scenes are more intense. They're more, they involve the audience more and stuff like that. Whereas the first two movies don't really seem like they do that as much. Um, and just overall, I just find this one to be the best one out of the whole series. Like I said, I still haven't watched the fourth one yet, but I'll get around to that because I need to do that one to finish the set. But But yeah, I think I've talked about this long enough. We're hitting on 20 minutes. So yeah, but honestly, I would say if you're going to get this set, this really is going to be the gem. This is going to be the one you really want this set for. It's the one that's the most fun. It's the most entertaining. You know, you're going in for the eroticism. This one is the most erotic one. Just Jamie Presley looks amazing. You know, she gives a great performance. Like I said, she's giving it all she's got, and you know, she's having fun with it, and it's so much fun. So anyway, that's going to go ahead and do it. Yeah. So anyway, three down, one to go. We just need the fourth one, and we're done with the Poison Ivy collection. So anyway, so that's going to wrap it up for this video. If anybody took the time to watch this video, and you know, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I hope you liked the video, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. This is Sinema77, horror and cult film lover, and you know, we'll be back with more, and we got plenty of other stuff to talk about here too. So you know, stay tuned, and we're gonna have more fun in the future. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye bye.